low to mid 60s in speed, but will throw that rise at a bunch of different levels. The knees, the belt, she'll throw it up in by the chin for a strikeout pitch outside of the zone. But for her, it's all about utilizing that curve that tails away from those righty hitters, and a great changeup to complement both of those pitches.
Well, this lineup has been awfully good for Missouri this season. Team hitting .337. You see second in the conference, and there's some big-time power in there, especially in the heart of the order. Hattie Moore, Kim Wirt, they can really launch it. Arkansas and Missouri meeting up for the first time since 2018 here in Fayetteville, when Arkansas won the series 2-1, and we're set to go for game one. Brooke Wilmes, aggressive at the first pitch, popped up right at the edge of the infield behind first base. No problems for Keely Huffine, and there's one down.
You'll see this Missouri offense take really big hacks early in counts. They are very aggressive in the box. Great communication as you see the Arkansas infield.
Green behind the plate, as always. Gibson, Huffine, Gamble, and Burnside, the shortstop, as Jenna Laird steps in. And hard to believe that she came into this program as a slap hitter. Lifted up. There's Torres running in from center field. Sam Torres joined in the outfield. Hannah McEwen in left. Ali Monzo in right. And there's two quick outs here in the first inning.
That's not a bad start. 2 pitches, 2 outs. Exactly what Mary Haff is used to seeing, either the strikeout swing and miss up in the zone or the fly ball and letting her defense work.
And brings up Hattie Moore. One of the veterans on this team, the Texas native, comes in 5th in the SEC with those 14 homers. And takes a pitch. Anthony Williams calling balls and strikes today. Kaylee Young at first. Chad Steers, the third base umpire. Big cut from the power hitter, Hattie Moore, and Mary Haff, who comes in with a 1.38 ERA on the year, 20-3. The 0-2. Maybe a little bit too purposeful.
Yeah, that's definitely a non-competitive pitch with the 0-2 count, but seeing as aggressive as Mizzou is in the box, I wouldn't be surprised to see that strikeout pitch pretty often with 2 strikes, trying to get them to swing a little bit too aggressively.
Going after it, staying alive is Hattie Moore. Not only having another good season of putting the ball out of the park, but is one of the best in Missouri history to do that. One of 3 players on this roster that's in the top 10 in career home runs for the Tigers.
Leads the team in that home run number with 14. Slugging percentage, .708.
1-2. Just a bit outside.
And probably the most patient throughout this lineup as far as walks goes. 24 on the season. Pitchers are very careful just because of her home run power, not to give her something too much over the middle of the plate.
Mary Haff checks the wristband. And the 2-2. This will get out of play. Speaking of career record books in the program, Mary Haff has etched her name into quite a few of the record books for Arkansas. She's 3 wins away to tie the Arkansas record. 4th in career strikeouts. Called strike 3. Mary Haff sits down the Tigers in order in the top of the first. Arkansas coming to bat. The Arkansas lineup today will face Jordan Weber in the circle for Missouri.
And very similar to half in the circle, both sides of the plate will throw that rise ball to all planes at multiple levels. But for her, it's going to be the changeup that is crucial. She has to keep Arkansas off balance in the box and keep that ball in the park.
Well, there's the leadoff, Hannah Gamble, who's been moved to the leadoff recently and has done a nice job there at the top of the order. You have Burnside, of course, who's tied for the nation's lead with 23 home runs. There's just no resting pitching to spots 1 through 9 in this Arkansas lineup, is there?
Definitely not. If you look at their home run power, their ability to hit the ball gap to gap and get on base. And it's not just the singles, doubles, and home runs that gets this squad on base. They have a lot of walks under their belt. And Gamble, even with a month out, still has 14.
First pitch strike worked into Hannah Gamble. Takes a strike, and for Hannah Gamble, she homered in her second at bat in game 1 of that Georgia series last weekend. The next 6 plate appearances, she walked twice, had a bases loaded RBI. They had to pitch to her. And then 3 hit by pitch the next day as this is lifted up and playable down the line. And the catch is made by Cassidy Shomo. Defensively for Missouri, Emma Robbie at first base, Kendall Bailey at second, Jenna Laird the shortstop, and Kim Wirt over at third. Hattie Moore, the battery mate with Jordan Weber. The outfield berm is just packed about as tight as you can get it here today. Great crowd on hand for the final home SEC series for Arkansas. Braxton Burnside, last time she was at the plate in this ballpark on Wednesday night, bottom of the 8th inning. Home run with 2 outs.
And Jordan Weber is going to try to stay on that outside part of the plate against Braxton Burnside. Both Half and Weber have gotten that high and out call against the hitters.
Burnside has reached safely in 36 consecutive ball games. Hasn't been too many times this year, at least none that I've really seen, where she's tried to force. She's, even though tied for the nation's lead in home runs, she still stayed disciplined and hasn't tried to force too many things or go swinging at something when it's not there. Just like that.
Yeah, she just received her 33rd walk of the season so far. A lot of those have been of the intentional nature. Some of those have obviously been of, we want to try to pitch around Braxton Burnside. But here's the issue with the Arkansas lineup. You pitch around Burnside, you have to go to Hannah McEwen, who's one of the best barrel up hitters in the country. She's not going to be your long ball threat like Burnside would be or like Gibson would be right behind her, but still you've got to get through Burnside and then go to McEwen and then get to Gibson, and then, oh, by the way, here's the 15 home run hitter on the season, Lenny Malkin, right behind Gibson.
McEwen takes the first pitch. It's just been another solid season so far for Hannah McEwen. Her on-base percentage at .516. So you've got, when you combine those top 3 spots in the order, it equals an on-base percentage of over .500. One from Weber. Talking about discipline at the plate, Hannah McEwen is somebody that will not stretch her zone really for anybody.
Gamble, Burnside, and McEwen all in the back of the box. trying to either lay off that rise ball or just see it a little bit longer to try to get on top of the low rise from Jordan Weber.
McEwen ahead 3-1 with Burnside on first and 1 out. Takes a strike. Well, she started to sell it and then she knew it. Did just catch the edge, and it's a full count now.
You see Hannah McEwen a little frustrated with that call, but great call for Jordan Weber.
Well, Coach Courtney Deifel, what a job that she's done, not only with this program, of course, but this team this season. They had such high hopes last year in the shortened season as McEwen takes ball 4, and there's 2 aboard now for your cleanup hitter, Danielle Gibson. But such high hopes for last year in the shortened season, and they came back on a mission this year, very determined, very close group this Arkansas team is, and she's been very complimentary of that multiple times this year when we've talked to her, as we'll see a conference here in the infield for Missouri.
It's been this way for both of these squads. You can tell how much fun they have together, very lively, fun-loving, and loose programs. And it's all because of the women at the top of these programs. Courtney Deifel, Larissa Anderson, who's in the circle right now, pitching coach and head coach. They let their players be themselves. They let them play the way that they do best. Some of them are a little bit quieter. Some of them are a little bit more energetic, loud. And you have to have all of those personalities on a team to be successful.
Danielle Gibson stepping in, the Arkansas cleanup hitter.
Gibson suffered a concussion back a few weeks ago in a midweek game against Kansas City. And when she came back a week later, she just didn't look herself. She was swinging after pitches she normally wouldn't have, striking out in 3 pitches, just swinging and missing. And the Georgia series, it just looked like she got her confidence back, her timing was back, her pitch selection was back, and she's seeing the ball really well.
This ball is hit high and deep to right field. It's out of here. 3-run homer for Danielle Gibson.
This is what makes this Arkansas lineup so difficult. You pitch around Braxton Burnside, you give up a walk to Hannah McEwen, and Danielle Gibson will put a dagger in your heart with a high fly long ball. Comes on the inside part of the plate, about sternum high, tries to get up under the hands of Danielle Gibson, does Jordan Weber, but Gibson with a great job of getting all the way extended through that ball, and an even better catch by an Arkansas fan out there.
Made some kids real happy. That was Arkansas jumping in front. Lenny Malkin steps in now and says, hey, where'd all the base runners go? Didn't leave anything for me. She didn't leave much for anybody on Wednesday night, though, as she knocked 2 out of here. And you see the numbers now creeping up the single season chart for the Razorbacks. Team home run number 83 on the year for Arkansas. They broke the single season program record a long time ago. You see the previous record, and what they did not only in the same game was break the season record, but they also set a new program record for most home runs in a single game with 6 in the win over Missouri State back in the first week of April.
They've obviously shattered that home run record. And we did ask Coach Deifel if, it was something that they really focused on, hitting the long ball, and she said, no, we just want to hit the ball hard. Every time that we get out there, be smart in our at-bats, be disciplined in each individual approach, but hit the crap out of it.
1-2.
Josh, this is a great defensive Missouri team, and this pitching staff has struggled a little bit at times, and they are a pitch by committee type of team. And for them, Larissa Anderson said, we've got to put the ball in play. If you put the ball in play, let our defense work, we're a great defensive team. The fielding percentage over 980, or around 980 really consistently throughout the entire year, which is a great mark for championship teams.
Malkin fouls this out of play. Yeah, she said that's her bread and butter and something that they obviously pride themselves on.
And the biggest circle for me is that home runs allowed. Arkansas with 24, but Missouri with 41 home runs allowed on the season.
Malkin working the count full. Weber was able to retire the first batter here in the bottom of the first. Hannah Gamble on a fly out to left. Then walked Burnside and McEwen. And Danielle Gibson with her 14th home run of the season. Payoff pitch. Weber gets the strikeout. And 2 down now here in the bottom of the first. And that's a good recovery and a good sign of toughness from the right-hander Jordan Weber.
And just stays on the outside corner and gets that rise ball up that looks like it's going to be a strike to Lenny Malkin and ends up just above the letters of the jersey. A lot of spin on that late break rise ball from Jordan Weber.
Kayla Green steps in, and if you think, okay, out of the heart of the order now, that means we're out of the home run danger zone, right? Nope, Kayla Green's got 10 on the year. Popped up to short. Jenna Laird's got it, and that'll do it for the Razorbacks in the first. But Danielle Gibson with one big swing puts Arkansas in front.
3 runs scored on 1 swing. Danielle Gibson's feeling it again.
Arkansas leading Missouri 3-0 as we get set for the second inning. And yesterday, an upset in SEC play.
Both Arkansas and Mizzou love this. Florida goes down to South Carolina. Gamecocks won that game 2-1. They'll show off again today and tomorrow, but at the top of the standings, you've got Arkansas, Florida, then Alabama, and then Missouri. So they're still in it.
And for Arkansas now, puts them 2 ahead of Florida in the loss column. And with Arkansas just 2 series remaining, including this one, Arkansas essentially could go 4-2 over these final 6 games and at the very worst clinch a share of the regular season SEC title. Cassidy Shomo leading things off for Missouri here in the second and takes a strike from Mary Half, who sat down the Tigers in order in the first. Ball's behind, 0-2. Shomo has been very good in the opening game of SEC series this year. 1 hit in each of the game 1s that she's played in, and they've all been for extra base. A double, a triple in the last 2 series. So she's homered in game 1 as she takes the purpose pitch up high.
Well, she hit .375 in that Mississippi State series. She struggled a little bit earlier in this season, but has really started to find her stride, really trusted that swing a little bit more. And this entire squad takes hacks in the box, but Shomo never gets cheated when she swings, and I love that about her. Junior transfer from Louisiana, had to sit out last year, but obviously COVID bringing that year to an early end.
And it took a little bit for her to kind of find her groove and her rhythm this year, and it was something that we asked Coach Anderson about, and sitting out last year, hasn't seen that real game action or the live pitching, as this ball is hit high and deep to right center, and it one-hops off the bottom of the wall ahead of steam. She is into third, and she was ready to go. and has to get back to third base, and there it is. 5 consecutive game ones of the series now with an extra base hit. A triple here to lead off the top of the second.
Well, and this is a high fly ball, but a long run for both Sam Torres in center and Ali Monzo. Hits off the base of the ball, gets past both of the outfielders, and that's why you see Shomo all the way at third. She's looking at that ball all the way thinking, I'm going. And I was watching Larissa Anderson, and she almost sent her home on that ball. So a great start here for the Tigers in a response after giving up 3 in the bottom of the first.
Well, you put a runner on third for a hitter like Kim Wirt. More times than not, she's going to be able to take care of business and get that run in. And you look at what these teams have done. And Missouri, you actually pointed this out earlier in the week too, Megan, that Missouri averages more runs than Arkansas does.
Better batting average. Can put runs up on the board. There's no doubt about that. This offense is going to score against Arkansas pitching. It's just whichever pitching staff can make adjustments better will be able to keep that other offense off enough so their offense can come back and score a few more runs. This is going to be a fun series.
Jenna Bloom in the bullpen for Arkansas nearly caught that foul ball. She tried. That was roped by Kim Wirt. There's Jenna Bloom, and yes, it's a different number. She'll wear 33 today. The strikeout for Mary Half, and Shelmo for the time being is left on third base.
Second strikeout already for Mary Half, and does it again with the rise ball fashion. Brought in a changeup a couple of pitches ago, and I think you will see a lot more of that. Maybe one changeup and at bat against these Missouri hitters to try to get them to chase low in the zone.
Kayla Kessinger steps in. First pitch popped up. It'll stay in the infield. Gibson's got it, and there's 2 down.
After giving up a triple to Cassidy Shomo on a 2-2 count, Mary Half comes back with a strikeout of Kim Wirt and then a first pitch swinging Kayla Kessinger.
Here's Emma Robbie. Takes the first pitch up high. Robbie hitting .283 on the year, but with runners in scoring position, hitting .357. Really leaned back and took a cut. Still couldn't find it.
Probably really aggressive early in counts. Had struggled a little bit in the SEC, but has her highest batting average and highest home run total of her career.
One-two from Mary Half. This Missouri team has done a good job when putting runners on base. Hitting .351 with runners aboard. Just got a piece to stay alive, did Robbie.
Half has gone up in the zone in the last 3 pitches. She still has that curveball that tails away from a righty hitter like Emma Robbie, and the changeup that we haven't seen yet.
Mary Half, after giving up a leadoff triple, battles back and retires Missouri in order after Arkansas in front, 3-0. Arkansas leading Missouri 3-0 as we move to the bottom of the second inning, and the conference home run leader doing it by way of home run. But you see the gap there from first to second.
That's pretty monster, isn't it? But I guess it helps when you have 4 people in the lineup that are hitting double-digit home runs. And in comparison, Mizzou only has 2 that are hitting in double-digit home runs. That's Hattie Moore behind the plate and then Kim Wirt.
Lenny Malkin can swing it. Those 2 homers on Wednesday night. Allie Monzo will lead off for Arkansas here in the bottom of the second. Back to work in the circle for Jordan Weber. Roped foul down the right side, and the right-hander Jordan Weber did a good job recovering after giving up that home run.
Well, she responded with a Lenny Malkin strikeout and then a fly out to Kayla Green early in the count. Allie Monzo, one of the seniors on this squad that came back after the COVID year. And she has fought her way into the lineup. I know we've talked a little bit about this throughout the season, but she was not an everyday starter. Definitely a role player, pinch hitter occasionally. And until the Liberty game in March, she'd never played right field before. Coach Deifel said, hey, go take some reps out there. She said, okay, here we go. And now she's found a solidified starting spot out in right field.
Swung it well in the sweep at Georgia. Went 3 of 8 with a walk.
And she's not your home run power. Her and Sam Torres are the only ones that have not hit a home run in the starting lineup. Whoa.
Monzo takes strike 3.
I don't normally react like that to a strikeout call or just a low pitch, but I think Jordan Weber gets a really nice call from home plate umpire Anthony Williams behind the plate.
Addie Moore did a nice job too. Maybe helping the pitcher out a little bit. You could tell Monzo didn't agree with it.
It looked better on replay than it looked live. But that's 2 quick outs right there for Jordan Weber, which is a great response, as you mentioned, after the Danielle Gibson 3-run home run back in the first.
Keely Huffine looking for the element of surprise there with her speed, and she handles the bat well. Not a bad idea in the moment, trying to get a base runner and ultimately hope to get back to the top of the order. And Anthony Williams, home plate umpire now, having a conversation.
Assistant coach Matt Michael just coming out to make sure that ball was still in fair territory. The bunt off of Keely Huffine was really close to Hattie Moore behind the plate. But looks like the call will stand as is.
Two down, no one aboard. And Sam Torres takes a strike. And for Sam Torres, as mixed around, she was at the top of the lineup for some time. When Hannah Gamble moved back into the top spot in the order, then they moved Torres down to the 9. But she's a great type of hitter and a great type of player to turn over your lineup.
When she can bunt, drag bunt, she steps in and swings away occasionally. When that defense is just a little bit too crunched in and in her face, she can power slap, soft slap. She's an all tools type of lefty.
Skied up to short. Jenna Laird under it, makes the catch. Jordan Weber and Missouri retire Arkansas in order in the bottom of the second. It's 3-0 Razorbacks through 2. Arkansas leading Missouri 3-0 through 2 innings. Great crowd on hand here today in Fayetteville, especially out on the grass berm beyond the outfield fence.
Well, we've got the Woo Pig Series going on in Fayetteville. A lot of these teams, the tournament is actually scheduled around the Arkansas game, so these teams can come in, support the Razorbacks, and then head back out to the field and play some games of their own.
Weather was a little bit rough going yesterday and earlier today, but looking better now and looking even better for the rest of this series and for young softballers out there. They're hoping they'll get some more home run balls. Already one today that put Arkansas in front. 8-9-1 spots for Missouri due up in this third inning. This is Kendall Bailey. Coach Larissa Anderson, one player that she really talked about was Kendall Bailey, and there's a little bit of a slump earlier this year for Kendall Bailey towards the early part, and Coach Anderson stuck with her, and she has really swung it well lately, and in SEC play has really fueled them and the success that they've had. Coach Anderson said she's prime example of why coaches should never give up on kids. She said her character and what she brings to the game beyond just on the field is really special.
Well, and Coach Anderson was getting some backlash from some Missouri fans about why is she still in the lineup? She's not producing, which, first of all, shame on you for ever saying something like that and doubting Larissa Anderson, as successful as she has been at Hofstra and then now Mizzou. Kendall Bailey is one of those kids that has just finally started to settle in. She trusts her completely, talks about how great of a leader she is, and that earlier in the year she was willing to sacrifice those offensive numbers and give her some more time at the plate to just try to find her confidence because of everything else she brought to the table, defensively and in her leadership.
Two-two pitch. Called strike three again. Mary Haff with her third looking strikeout of the game, fourth overall.
His hitters are getting to know this zone behind the plate, just stretched a little bit east and west. That looked like it was over the chalk of the left-handed batter's box, but gets rung up anyway, does Kendall Bailey, and a nice job by Kayla Green behind the plate to stick that call.
Brings up Alex Honnold. Aggressive at the first pitch, something that we see from Arkansas, no surprise. First two hitters of the game went after the first pitch they saw from Haff.
As aggressive as these hitters are and as incredible as the power numbers and everything have been, we're through 2 innings and we only have 2 hits, one for each team. It was just the big one from Danielle Gibson, the 3-run shot, that's the difference in this game.
This ball slicing and fair inside the left field line. Honnold is going to try to take 2, and she slides in safe. 1-out double for Alex Honnold at the bottom of the order.
Love the aggressiveness right here, base running wise. Sticks her barrel out on that high and out pitch. Good job controlling where that ball goes. And then McEwen gets to it pretty quickly, but I don't think she thinks that Honnold is going to try to take second. And the throw is wide, and Honnold sitting on second.
Gets Missouri back to the top of their lineup with 1 out and a runner in scoring position. Brooke Wilmes. And just talking about the top of the order for Missouri to start the game. They attacked the first pitch. Wilmes popped out to second. Good work behind the plate by Green. Picked that out on a hop.
Been a couple off-speed pitches that Mary Haff in the last 2 innings. It's just kind of bounced a few feet in front of the plate, uncharacteristic of her.
Wilmes takes a strike. She's second in the SEC in hits and leads the conference in doubles with 15.
Coach Anderson talked about her in the leadoff spot, spark plug, energy, exactly what you want. But that she can win the game for you just with her energy and the way that she sets the tone at the top of the lineup. And said, I want her to have the most at-bats because of what she can do. Drop a bunt, hit a double, hit it out, power potential, and a really smart hitter on the left side.
She'll take a walk here. And Jenna Laird will step to the plate. Mary Half better than 5-1 strikeout to walk ratio on the year coming in. Works in a strike to Laird to start.
Just incredible numbers for the true freshman this season. She's another one of those Missouri hitters that'll take her hacks. And over the games that I've gotten to see Jenna Laird play, and she's a good pitcher's pitch hitter. On an 0-2 count, a 1-2 count, when the pitcher thinks that she's got her, Jenna Laird will come back. And only 2 home runs in SEC play.
And there she is, back up the middle. Green light given to Honnold, coming around to score, and Missouri is on the board. RBI hit for Jenna Laird.
And right there with 2 strikes, Jenna Laird, as soon as Mary Half thought she had her, she barrels this ball up, sends it right back up the middle, and Mizzou has cut that lead from Arkansas just down to 2. And that's a high pitch. She's just a good bad ball hitter. And that's why her batting average is so high. That's why her power numbers are so big. And oh, by the way, she was a slapper when she came into college less than a year ago.
First pitch misses to Hattie Moore. And associate head coach Chris Malvo really worked with her on developing that swing, and especially at this level in this conference, how impressive is that you're hitting home runs after converting from a slapper.
This entire squad has completely bought into Chris Malvo's teaching style, the hitting philosophy. They're very lower body heavy. They work from the ground up. They work on getting that front foot down and then firing that back knee and getting all of their hips into it, then letting the torso and the hands follow. And Mizzou very unhappy with that strike call.
Swing and a miss. Mary Half with her 5th strikeout, and it's a big one for out number 2.
Earlier in this at bat, Mary Half got Hattie Moore to swing at a ball that was even higher than that one and goes for the strikeout pitch. That's her 5th on the day.
Brings up Cassidy Shomo, who led off the 2nd inning with a triple, but was stranded on 3rd base. Missing at that pitch, evens the count at 1.
Even though Half has that lower rise ball that starts in on the knees and goes about belt level, she doesn't want to throw that against Mizzou. She wants to throw the one that starts at the sternum and then ends up by the chin. And that's what you're seeing in the last 2 innings, just starting that ball higher and higher, trying to get the swings and misses of these Mizzou hitters.
See the defensive fundamentals there by Coach Anderson? Stayed in front of it, got down, squared it up.
Comes from the top down, doesn't it?
It does. Upstairs, Shomo not biting on that. Shomo homered in her Missouri debut earlier this year. And this gets back up the middle. In to score is Wilmes. Screen light given. Laird coming around to tie it up. A clutch 2-out RBI. Cassidy Shomo ties us up at 3 here in the 3rd.
I actually think that Braxton Burnside should have had this ball going to her glove side up the middle. Either way, it's a hard shot off of Cassidy Shomo's bat. And because of the respect that the outfield has for Shomo, Sam Torres has no play at home, and Jenna Laird scores easily from first base.
First pitch, swinging, Kim Wirt. And flying to Hannah McEwen. Side retired, but Missouri with 3 runs in the top of the 3rd inning, and we're all tied going to the home half. Missouri fell behind early, but they get 3 in the top of the 3rd inning, and they have squared it up. And when they've gone against ranked teams this year, Megan Turk, they haven't backed down, which is why they're in the top 20 themselves.
6 top 25 wins, 1 against Florida State. That was back when Florida State was number 12. Jordan Weber had the winning, or she was the winning pitcher in that game. Took down Georgia, Auburn twice, LSU in that first game. Run rule victory. This is a Tigers team that can make a lot of noise throughout the postseason. And I think the biggest question for them is how consistent can their pitching staff be? Their offense has proved that they can put numbers up on the board and give the pitching staff a chance to win.
Check swing that comes into play. And 1 out quickly here in the bottom of the 3rd as Hannah Gamble is retired.
And last time we were at the top of the lineup for Arkansas, Gamble was retired, Braxton Burnside walked, Hannah McEwen walked, and then Danielle Gibson, the only hit of the game for Arkansas, had the 3-run shot over right field.
Gamble again. It'll be the same result. So,
I believe that was called back for an illegal pitch.
Yes.
Of Jordan Weber. So that's why she got another opportunity at that, but you're absolutely right. Same result here. Braxton Burnside up to the plate.
And for Burnside, we'll see how careful they are to her this time around.
If you Missouri fans remember the name Braxton Burnside, Burnside is a Mizzou transfer after the coaching change a few years ago. Decided the only place that she could see herself was in the SEC playing for Arkansas. 0 bad blood between these 2 programs. A lot of respect for the coaching staffs, for the players.
3-0, Burnside ahead. And last time they were here, Missouri that is, Braxton Burnside was a Tiger, drove in a couple of runs in that series. But you see the numbers. She was showing off that home run swing as well, really coming on, especially in 2018, and draws another walk here.
Yeah, the biggest difference for me to circle is that slugging percentage. 831 versus just under 500. And we're obviously still in the 2021 season. That RBI total will continue to climb. But the home runs, 28, 23 of them are from this season alone.
Hannah McEwen, who has really found a home now in the 3rd spot in the lineup. It doesn't seem like this lineup combo is going anywhere. Looks like the one that Arkansas will probably be with, barring any unforeseen circumstances. But for McEwen, because her discipline is so good at the plate, you better hit your spots if you're going to walk Braxton Burnside.
When Coach Steifel was talking about McEwen and how McEwen's been at that leadoff spot her entire career until this season, Coach Steifel walks up to her and says, "You know what the only thing I love more about watching you lead off is?" And Hannah responds with,
"This."
Watching me hit runs in. So just a few feet away from hitting 2 in on that long ball.
Well, and she's done that, driving in runs very successfully this year, and so is Danielle Gibson. This is what happened in the 1st inning, followed by a great catch there in right field, but a 3-run shot for Danielle Gibson, her 14th of the season.
Just incredible home run power. Missed a couple games due to concussion back in March. Comes back, was a little shaky at the plate, and then she's really found her stride over the last 4 games.
Takes the first pitch. And you look at the top home run hitters for Arkansas. Swing and a miss at that pitch. But you get it in, those are spots 2, 4, 5, and 6 in the lineup.
Yeah, typically your best hitters are 1 through 4. You can have a 1 through 5 in there, but Courtney Deifel in this lineup, they are very dangerous. And she says all the time, since she's had everybody back healthy, I would hate to pitch to this lineup.
Another thing to factor in there is that if Hannah Gamble didn't have to miss time, as this is a laser tailing off into the gap. Stop sign given, Burnside runs through it. Here comes the throw, and she is out trying to slide into home. Burnside came right through the stop sign from Coach Deifel at third, and Danielle Gibson with a big hit, but Missouri able to keep themselves in a deadlock at 3 here with the Razorbacks. We go to the 4th in Fayetteville. Another big hit from Danielle Gibson that ended the 3rd inning.
But great defensive play from Brooke Wilmus out in center field to the freshman Jenna Laird to Hattie Moore with the tag out of Braxton Burnside. And a nice job behind the plate with the ball to go get it and make that tag. And Burnside actually ran through a stop sign from Courtney Deifel, and you wonder, was it too late of a stop sign, or was she just taking her instincts and hoping that she'd be able to make it home? Either way, Mizzou, Arkansas tied up here in the 4th inning. We've got a good one so far.
6, 7, 8 spots in the order for Missouri. Kayla Kessinger. And for Missouri, last inning when they scored the 3 runs in the 3rd, it was all started off by a 1-out double by Alex Honnold at the bottom of the lineup. And something that Coach Anderson kind of talked about is everybody's got to be ready. You've got to be prepared and focused every single pitch. Never know which one could be the one that is the difference maker. Might be the difference in the series even, not just the game. Kessinger had success against Mary Haff. It was a long time ago when they first met up, but go back to the 2018 series here in Fayetteville. 2 of 3 with a double in the opening game of that series for Kessinger against Mary Haff. It was Arkansas, though, who ended up winning the game and won the series 2-1. Haff ended up pitching 14 innings in that 3-game set. Full count now. Fielded by Huffine. She can cover the ground quick, and Keely Huffine makes the play. Kayla Kessinger retired for out 1 here in the 4th. In the all-time series, Missouri in front. But you look, it's been such a long time since these two last met up. And the first time for Coach Larissa Anderson meeting up with Arkansas. This ball is hit well to left, but dies off. McEwen is there. Emma Robbie going after the first pitch. Hit it well. Comes up short. 2 down.
And we've seen some action over in the bullpen for Arkansas. Both Jenna Bloom and Autumn Storms have been out and throwing a little bit. Missouri really starting to get on top of Mary Half's rise balls. That's why you've seen so many line drives out to the outfield.
Kendall Bailey, who went down on strikes first time up.
Second time through the lineup, a great adjustment for Mizzou offensively. Obviously that big third inning after the walk to Brooke Wilmus, and then Jenna Laird with an RBI single up the middle, and then Cassidy Shomo with that huge 2 RBI single out into left field.
Kendall Bailey in game 1 of SEC series, 5 of 12, 3 walks. Overall hitting .368 in conference play. Count even at 2 now with 2 outs and the base is empty. Just got a piece to stay alive. Talked about the loss yesterday by Florida that made the SEC standings a little bit more interesting, and definitely in the best interest of both of these teams. This ball hit well to left, going back, and it's gone. Kendall Bailey protected the strike zone, covered up with 2 against her. Just kept battling until she got one she liked and knocks it over the fence to put Missouri in front.
This is what makes a rise ball pitcher so dangerous against a very potent offense, and Mizzou has a lot of confidence after their Mississippi State sweep last weekend. That ball high in the zone, up by the chin, and Kendall Bailey, this is exactly why you don't give up on a kid who's struggling early in the season, because of what she has been able to do and her production and the numbers she has put up over the last couple weeks.
5th homer of the season for Bailey. And it's back to Alex Honnold now at the bottom of the lineup. She was the one that started all the trouble for Arkansas. Doubled with 1 out last inning, a 3-run third to tie the game, and now Missouri in front with this single run in the 4th. Swing and a miss. Half battles back with a strikeout, her 6th of the ball game. But Missouri able to retake with the long ball and extra base hits, the story so far.
Mizzou is going to take the lead 4-3 off the bat of the junior, Kendall Bailey. Mizzou 4-3.
Well, your game recap so far. Danielle Gibson in the 1st inning, a 3-run homer over the right field fence, but Missouri, though, coming and battling back in the 3rd.
And the freshman Laird had a single up the middle. She'll score Honnold on this one. And then Shomo, Cassidy, gets 2 runs of her own, ties up the game after Brooke Wilmus and Jenna Laird both scored. Laird all the way from first.
Lenny Malkin leading off for Arkansas. Struck out swinging back in the 1st. It's only time to face Weber so far. That just off the edge. Ahead 2-0 is Lenny Malkin. The 15 homers on the year, 10th in the nation, 4th in the SEC.
Each pitcher giving up a home run in this game. Jordan Weber has only given up 2 hits, both of them to Danielle Gibson, the senior in the 4th spot, that home run, the 3-run shot that you just saw, and then 1 back in the 3rd. She does have 3 walks on the afternoon. That's why you've seen so many base runners, but other than the free passes and the long ball from Danielle Gibson, she has done a pretty good job against this Arkansas lineup.
Takes that pitch, and the count is now full to the former Colorado Gatorade Player of the Year. Missouri's got one of those on their roster as well, Lauren Krings, 2-time Colorado Gatorade Player of the Year. Malkin softly lifted up into left center, and it's the shortstop Jenna Laird who makes the play. Kim Worth, the third baseman, having a little discussion with Weber. Jordan Weber got off to a really good start. It's a pretty good indication that she would have a good year, but the sophomore from Lee's Summit, Missouri, Jordan Weber, took a no-hitter into the 6th inning. The season opener against Memphis. As she deals a first pitch strike to Kayla Green.
And she only had a 1-hit performance against FSU in that win over Florida State. Pretty equal on the balls and strikes breakdown.
Jenna Laird makes the play, 6-3 for out number 2. Kayla Green retired, brings up Ali Monzo.
Seen some exciting stuff here just through about 4.5, bottom of the 4th inning. There's plenty of game left to play. I would not be surprised if we dipped into the bullpen within the next inning or so for both of these teams, the way that Missouri is hitting.
Grounder to second. Bailey makes the play. Arkansas retired in order in the 4th. Through 4 innings in game 1 of this series, Missouri leads Arkansas 4-3. 19th ranked Missouri out in front of number 6 Arkansas 4-3 as we get set to begin this 5th inning, and it shows the toughness of this Missouri team battling back. You see the 3-run homer by Gibson in the 1st that put Arkansas in front, but in the 3rd inning a clutch 2-out 2 RBI double by Shomo tied the game, and then Bailey, that home run.
7 runs scored between these two squads, 7 hits. Missouri leads the way with 5 against Mary Half. And Jordan Weber of Missouri has only given up 2, both against Danielle Gibson.
Mary Half, that was pitch 70, 49 for strikes thus far. Brooke Wilmes at the top of the order. Walked last time up. And there's the change in right field. Larissa Cesena comes in for Ali Monzo. Slow roller. Huffine on it. Throws off balance but makes the play.
That's a really tough play for a second baseman to make as they're charging all the way on that ball that just has a little bit of English on it. As soon as that ball hits her glove, just a little stutter step and then fires it over to Danielle Gibson for the first out of the inning. And Arkansas needs some good defensive plays.
This ball straight up to deep center, playable for Torres, and she's got it just in front of the warning track. Jenna Laird with a deep fly out for out number 2.
I think Sam Torres did about 70 steps on the way back to that ball. She went to her right, then to her left, then back to her right to catch that ball. A lot of spin. And sometimes the wind in Fayetteville can alter that ball quite a bit while it's up in the air for that long.
First pitch down in the dirt to Hattie Moore. In the 3 spot, the senior hitting .317. On base percentage, .423 though for Moore, but 2 strikeouts today. 2 of 6 for Mary Half. On opening day this year, doubleheader for Missouri, Hattie Moore hit 3 homers in the 2 games, including 2 in that season opener. That's well out of play over near the indoor facility for Arkansas. And Hattie Moore would do it again, though, later in the season. A doubleheader against Western Illinois. Hit 3 homers between the 2 games.
You know, Hattie Moore all the way back in the batter's box, just trying to see that spin a little bit longer from the hand of Mary Half. As a catcher, very comfortable with that spin, taking in more information each at bat. You'll often see her get better as the game goes on because she's more patient, she's more knowledgeable about what that pitcher is throwing.
Takes the 2-out walk here.
There's Cassidy Shomo. This is what she's done today. She had a triple that she was almost sent home on, and then she had an RBI single, 2 RBI that she brought in to tie the game. That was back in the 3rd. And then her teammate Kendall Bailey would send a solo shot over left field to put Missouri up on top 4-3.
Quick conference between Green and Half.
Shomo seeing the ball really well today, and she had both of those hits on 2-2 counts. So even with 2 strikes, very aggressive, using that whole body.
This lofted over the outstretched glove of Burnside, and good base running by Moore, and then Shomo able to take second on the throw.
I love aggressive base running, and I love the way that Missouri plays between the bags. Not afraid to take a risk just to get 60 feet closer. And if you watch all the way from first base, Hattie Moore is not slowing down on this ball. Also knows that it's been raining all morning, and so that grass is still a little bit wet. And you see that with a little bit of an errant throw from Hannah McEwen out in left field. Gamble can't handle it, and a nice job, Mary Half diving to keep that ball from getting past her.
2 in scoring position with 2 outs for Kim Wirt. 13 homers on the year for Wirt. 0 for 2 today, a strikeout and a flyout. Coach Anderson complimentary, though, of Wirt and her command of the strike zone, though, this season, and the numbers have shown it. In addition to the home run numbers, the team's RBI leader with 41. Coach Anderson in her 3rd year now. Many successful years at Hofstra, and took this job at Missouri, and what a job that she's done in the early going here. Missouri was in the UCLA Regional 2019, took UCLA, the eventual national champs, to the IF game in their host regional.
And right now they're looking for a hard hit ball. On the ground would be great if you're thinking Kim Wirt. She had a fly out back in the 3rd inning, struck out on 3 pitches back in the 2nd against Mary Half. But right now is a big opportunity for Mizzou to put a couple more runs up on the board against Arkansas this evening, or this afternoon.
And Wirt made the transition from Hofstra here to Missouri as well with Coach Anderson.
It's always a good sign when you're going to a different program, coaching change, taking another opportunity. And those players want to follow you. That speaks volumes about the kind of person and kind of coach that Rosa Anderson is.
Wirt takes the pitch upstairs. First two batters of this inning were retired. Then a walk to Hattie Moore. Shomo with the blue pit to left center. Two in scoring position here. Long foul ball. Count is even at 2. Similar to last inning before Kendall Bailey hit that homer. She was down to her final strike. Just kept protecting the strike zone until she got one that she could do something with. This again will get out of play.
They've really stayed high in the zone against Kim Wirt here, hoping to get that swing and miss, but it's resulted in 5 balls in a row that have been fouled off.
For Wirt, the transition to Missouri, that was another area we talked about earlier in the game of certain people questioning Coach Anderson's decisions. Some people told her Wirt wouldn't be able to hit at this level. Well, she hit 19 home runs in her first year at Missouri after transferring, so that says that she can indeed hit at this level and has.
Well, she's another one of those hitters that have just continued to get better throughout the season, just understanding her strike zone more.
This again out of play.
Looking for better pitches to hit, not chasing those high balls and the high and outs as much. And at Hofstra, she was typically a pinch hitter. Finished with 5 home runs as a pinch hitter. That's not bad at all. Got a little bit of playing time, but has definitely solidified herself in this Missouri lineup this season.
Again out of play. Those 19 homers in 2019 were the second most ever in a season by a Missouri player.
Well, she's about to see the 11th pitch come out of the hand of Mary Half in the last couple minutes. Great job right here with 2 runners on, 2 outs, and just a 1-run lead.
Takes the walk. Well, after you've been fouling them off one right after the other, takes a lot of guts to leave the bat on your shoulder there. And now they're loaded up.
Oh, Josh, I would have swung at that all day. So credit and kudos to you, Kim Wirt, for letting that ball go. And Arkansas fans frustrated with this because they've seen this ball as a strikeout call, but that's a ball. It's outside. It's over the left-handed batter's box chalk line, and that is a great take by Kim Wirt to load the bases.
And so brings up Kayla Kessinger. Missouri is a team this year with the bases loaded, hitting .458. Kessinger takes the first pitch strike. Individually, she's 2 of 3 in this situation. This ball, slow roller to the left of second. Burnside's got to hurry, and she just got her by a step. Calm, cool, and collected play by Braxton Burnside, and the bases left loaded by Mizzou in the 5th.
Watch me do what I do. I'm in charge. I make the rules. I ain't got nothing to prove. Yeah, I'm in charge. I run the school. Ready, set, strike. You shake it like you really wanna.
Well, the SEC tournament not far off, and it should be one of the best ever. Of course, everybody eager to get back to postseason softball with the shortened season last year. And the distance between Florida will come in as the defending champ.
The championship starts on May 15th in Tuscaloosa.
Keely Huffine leading off for Arkansas here in the bottom of the 5th. And Jordan Weber has done a nice job in the circle so far today for Missouri. Gave up the home run in the first inning. It's almost like it didn't phase her at all, just a sophomore. Quickly recovered to get out of the inning though, and has given up just one hit since and one walk.
Back in the second and the fourth. Sat down Arkansas hitters in a row. And again, the only 2 hits that she's given up have been to Gibson, both extra base hits, the home run that you alluded to, and then the double back in the 3rd.
Foul on the third base side. We've talked about the progression of Arkansas in this program, and now the ranking this week, 6th in the country, and Coach Deifel overseeing this. But you look at players like Keely Huffine, the veterans who have kind of been through it, and seeing this program now reach new heights.
Well, they hosted regionals back in 2017, and if you look at any of the pictures, Keely Huffine wasn't dressed. And that was one of the things that Coach Deifel brought up earlier in the season when we asked about Keely. And she said, you know, that's probably one of the things that makes me so emotional about Keely Huffine is that she didn't give up. She understood her role as a pinch runner, and she was, you know, great in that role, but she worked her butt off to get back in the starting lineup. She's been over at center field. She was at shortstop just a couple seasons ago before Braxton Burnside came in. So she has literally been all over the field and done whatever this coaching staff has asked of her.
Changed last names and changed positions. Former Keely Edwards.
Bottom of the lineup for Arkansas saw Georgia pitching pretty well, and this is a part of the lineup that really needs to be productive if Arkansas wants to complement that top half.
And an element where Huffine has made herself a home run threat.
She may be sub 200 on that batting average, but she does have 5 home runs on the season. And her biggest one came in a walk-off victory against Ole Miss. Gives a little life to the Arkansas dugout with a quality at bat. Jordan Weber and Mary Half both with that rise ball repertoire. That's going to be their go-to again at a couple different levels. When Weber gets 2 strikes, she likes to come a little bit higher. And she's staying on the inside part of the plate against Keely Huffine.
That's a ball, and the count is full now.
Another 11 pitch at bat. In the other half, Kim Wirt did that in the top of the 5th inning, and it resulted in a walk.
Weber's payoff number 2. Emma Robbie, the first baseman, makes the call and the catch up the line. And Huffine, good battle, but retired here to start off the Razorback 5th.
Yeah, great battle between Jordan Weber and Keely Huffine, the sophomore versus the senior. That brings up Sam Torres at the bottom of the lineup. You talked about how when Hannah Gamble was out, when Hannah McEwen was out for COVID protocols back in February and early March, she was solidified up in that starting position, that one spot, leadoff, and at one point was hitting over 400 in SEC play.
Torres hard grounder to short. Jenna Laird The throw to first, but it was picked out of the dirt by Robbie, and she held on to it. Good play by Emma Robbie at first.
That's a good dig. I mean, Jenna Laird gets that ball really quickly off the bat of Sam Torres, but doesn't quite set her feet. Ball taps into the ground right before Emma Robbie. But you gotta love a first baseman and give him a high five, air high five or something. Buy him a coffee, lunch after a pick like that.
Well, here's Gamble. She could certainly tie the game with one swing of the bat. And a nice option in that leadoff spot for Arkansas. Gamble, the on-base percentage now at .484, and it elevated a little bit more last weekend. Mentioned earlier, homered in her second at bat of that series. The rest of that game, she got walked twice, and then came up with the bases loaded, got a fielder's choice RBI. The next day, first 3 plate appearances, hit by pitch, all 3 of them. Asked Coach Deifel, is that a situation where she was frustrated because she would have liked to have been able to swing the bat, or she's happy because she's getting on base in front of those big home run hitters? And she talked about, kind of the maturity of Hannah Gamble, how you adjust to the game, and she understands, now the value of just getting on base.
Well, I think for her, it's understanding who's behind you. If I get on, now they have to pitch to Braxton Burnside with runners on. And then if Burnside gets on, Hannah McEwen right behind her. And Burnside, so much power. And you'll get to see a few of them right here. Just home run after home run. 23 on the season. Last year was her first season in an Arkansas uniform. She had to sit out the 2019 season due to transfer rules, and she has just made the best out of her time off, learning, becoming just a little mini coach over in that shortstop position. And she's got an opportunity right here if Mizzou will throw to her with a new pitcher.
Emma Nichols is going to come into the circle for the Tigers, and she was kind of a real security blanket. Nichols got the save in games 1 and 2 of the series last weekend. Sweep over Mississippi State. The Missouri native has been very strong.
And she's going to be a great complement to Jordan Weber in the circle. Throws down about low 60s. Pretty similar speed that Jordan Weber brought in, but has the drop ball, mixes those speeds with that changeup. Stays really down in the zone. And right now, if you're Missouri, you need the ball to stay in the park, only with a 1-run lead. And she throws that drop ball to both sides of the plate.
This softball team has had the support of many. Coach Courtney Deifel called out earlier in the season. She said, was really impressed, not just that Arkansas football coach Sam Pittman was a fan, but how much he knew about the program and about our team. It wasn't just a go out and watch softball, but she said he knew a lot about the team and the program, and that meant a lot.
Special things happening in Fayetteville right now.
Braxton Burnside awaiting this turn at the plate. Getting ready to face the nation's save leader, Emma Nichols. 6 saves on the year, leads the country. .61 ERA for Nichols in 59 innings, 42 strikeouts, 17 walks, has surrendered 4 homers in 59 innings pitched. With 2 outs, first pitch to Burnside.
Paragould, Arkansas. Braxton Burnside actually has a nutritional drink named after her now. One of the nutrition stores in Paragould calls it the Brax Bomb.
She was a guest on Rally Cap with Dari Noka. Talked about how she has a lot of pride in not only playing for the state, but her hometown of Paragould, like you just mentioned. And she should have a lot of things named after her, the career that she's had just to this point. And still a lot more to come.
She doesn't swing outside of the strike zone very often, but I think right now, this being a big situation, bottom of the 5th inning, you're down by 1, you've got a runner over at first, just getting a little antsy. And when I watch the Arkansas broadcasts in these games across the SEC, I just wonder why people pitch her inside. She's continuously shown that if she gets a ball inside, it's going over the left field fence. And you can see that game plan right now with Emma Nichols staying on the outside part of the plate. It's a good pitch.
Payoff pitch with 2 outs. Got her. Nichols comes out of the bullpen. And a big strikeout to retire Burnside.
It's the nation's tied for home run leader to strike out, chase after a drop ball in the left-handed batter's box. Mizzou still leads 4-3.
Missouri holding on to the 1-run lead here at Arkansas, 4-3, as we move into the 6th inning. Mary Half back into the circle for Arkansas, and young softballers loving it here today. This place is packed. The outfield berm is packed with many youngsters, and they've got a lot of players on this Arkansas team that they're looking up to. One of those right there in Mary Half.
One of the top 25 Player of the Year finalists, just announced yesterday. Mary Half and Braxton Burnside on that list. Mary Half just with a phenomenal year, and she's done pretty much everything that Courtney Deifel has asked of her. Coming into this game, 142 innings pitched.
Emma Robbie leading off. 7-8-9 to bat for Missouri. 0 for 2 today is Robbie. Had a pretty well struck ball last time up though, lined out to left. Half came in with a 20-3 record. Arkansas's single season record holder in wins with her 29 back in 2018. And it was a year, that 2018 season, Arkansas went to the Super Regional, lost to Oklahoma. And you talked about earlier, Megan, the Arkansas success. They've been able to host a regional already in Coach Deifel's time. But this year's team just has a different feel, like there's something more in store perhaps for this team. And they certainly have the confidence to go farther than they've ever been.
Kendall Bailey is really the difference in the lead right here for Mizzou. The Tigers go up 4-3 after a solo shot. That was back in the 4th inning. Off of a 2-2 count against Mary Half. And then in that 5th inning, Mizzou left the bases loaded. Mary Half got a really good play from Braxton Burnside over at shortstop to get out of the inning. But we are going to see a pitching change for the Hogs.
Jenna Bloom will come in for the Razorbacks. We'll give her time to warm up and tell you more about her when we come back. Missouri leads Arkansas 4-3.
Mary Half had 6 strikeouts on the day. She did it via the off-speed, the rise ball, the off-speed again on the outside corner, and then there's the curveball that tails away from the righty hitters. That rise ball had been really effective, but she did give up the 4 walks. So a lot of extra base runners for Mary Half with the 5 innings pitched recorded in the books.
Kendall Bailey, the home run last time up that we just showed you, and came after a long battle at the plate.
Jenna Bloom in the circle is going to throw a little bit harder than Mary Half, mid-60s. She'll throw that rise ball, curve, change, screw. She'll go into both righties and lefties. She's not afraid of going in on the hands. And she has been a great number 3 for this Arkansas pitching staff, with Mary Half and then Autumn Storms being in that second role this season.
One, two, hops right back to her and got her right underneath the mask. Oh my, scary play. That was a screamer that hopped and came up. It looked like right below the mask in the chin area.
Yeah, hard hit ball with a lot of spin. Bloom tries to put her glove up. And then I think you're right, it just hit her right on the bottom of the chin. That's an easy safe call over at first for Kendall Bailey. She looks like she's smiling.
Good sign from Jenna Bloom, and that, of course, why you wear that mask. Scary to even think about the result without it, but Jenna Bloom looks like she's good to stay in the ball game.
Well, that puts 2 runners on right now for Mizzou, and they have 2 pinch runners on. Imani Mint over at second base.
Kendall Cook will run at first.
So Kendall coming in for Kendall Bailey, who just reached off that ball. And well, I guess we'll say off of Jenna Bloom's chin. So they'll officially rule it as a single.
They appeal and says yes, she did go. Down at third base, they said Honnold did go. Honnold had the double back in the 3rd inning. Came in to score the first run for Missouri as they were chasing runs early after a 3-run homer by Danielle Gibson for Arkansas in the 1st. Ground ball back through the middle. Coming around third, and the pinch runner with the speed. Mint comes in to score, and the lead is 2 now for Missouri.
The freshman coming up big, Alex Honnold. Give you another insurance run for Mizzou, putting them up 5-3 here. And it's just slow enough that Sam Torres doesn't have a chance, and a speedy and great jump over at second base after a big lead. Imani Mint scores easily.
Strike to Wilmes. Maybe looking to advance here. That's what Arkansas was thinking anyway. It would be a prime time for it. Get the runners in scoring position with just 1 out if you can execute it. Probably won't see it now, though, with 2 strikes. Wilmes will have to buckle in and protect the strike zone. Look out, Coach Anderson. quick reaction there. This hitter, though, Brooke Wilmes, has been one of the hardest hitters to strike out. So it's a situation where they're probably feeling pretty good about her being at the plate, in the sense that if you do nothing else, find a way to advance those runners here. Battles another off, and for Wilmes, 5th in the conference as the 5th toughest batter to strike out. Only strikes out every 16 to 17 at bats statistically, and was even better in 2019, one of the best in the country. Only 1 strikeout every 27. Lifted up though down the line. McEwen's got it, and that's a very important out number 1 for Bloom and Arkansas.
Really, for Arkansas and any Hogs fans, you don't want any more runs to cross the board for Missouri. Arkansas still struggling at the plate after that 3-run shot in the first inning. Their energy just doesn't look the same as it did against Georgia. When Georgia punched and scored runs, Arkansas responded immediately. And since that first inning, after the Hogs went up 3-0 in the bottom of the first, 5 runs from Missouri have been unanswered.
Laird just got a piece of it. Evens the count at 1. Coach Anderson talked about the freshman Jenna Laird. Said she's really good beyond her years. Thrives in pressure situations and being so calm. The rest of the team gets excited about her calmness and tries to fire her up, but doesn't work. She's staying calm, cool, and collected at the plate. And a lot of her coaching, though, in this game has been before this year from Coach Anderson. Jenna Laird from East Meadow, New York. And Coach Anderson, of course, coming from Hofstra, where she was at for many years. She was quick to point out the relationship that was there. And that's one thing when you do make a coaching change, keep that recruiting pipeline open in the area where you're from.
Well, they've known each other since Jenna Laird was about 9 years old. Anderson said she saw her in a hitting facility, and she's been going to those Hofstra camps about 2 miles away from Jenna Laird's house at home.
This just sneaks through the 5-6 hole as Burnside laid out for it, but out of a reach. And they're loaded up for Missouri, already in front by 2 runs. Bases loaded with 1 out thanks to this hit.
This is what makes Missouri so dangerous. They can do it with little squibblers out into the outfield. They can do it with home runs, with bunts, slaps. And again, with the bases loaded for the 2nd time in 2 innings. This is not a team that just dies down with 2 strikes. Pitchers have to work really hard to get these hitters out with as hard as they swing. And notice that through the last 3 innings, they have been a lot more selective. Early in the games, they're extremely aggressive. They're trying to get ahead of these pitchers. And they're a little bit more selective with the last 2 innings in the pitches that they've swung at. They're not swinging as far out of the zone as they did the first 3.
The 0-2 to Moore. Ball 1. Coach Anderson said one of the impressive things with Moore at the plate right now is she'll turn to the associate head coach, Chris Malvo, and tell him what the pitch was. Help gather information on the pitchers, and this could be especially helpful with Bloom being new to the game.
Different look from Mary Half. Mary stays high in the zone. She'll bring in that curveball occasionally. and pulled a string on that changeup, but Jenna Bloom likes east and west, likes up in the zone. And a great pitch and a big strikeout right there for Jenna Bloom. And gets Hattie Moore looking. A screwball on the inside part of the plate going against the righty, and Hattie Moore tries to sell it that it's too inside, but that ball is a perfect pitch right there for Jenna Bloom and the Razorbacks.
Arkansas not out of trouble yet, with Shomo stepping in, the cleanup hitter who is 3 for 3 today. Triple, 2 RBI double, and base hit last time up. Off the hands. And Jenna Bloom now has some room to work, ahead in the count, 0-2. Foul back to the screen.
Jenna Bloom has a lot of movement on her that screwball, that curveball. You've seen her go in on those right-handed hitters, trying to go right at about the knob, up and in on the hands.
She'll get another shot here. Shomo comes from very athletic family. Both her parents, collegiate athletes. Her older sister, Carly, played 2 years at McNeese State after starting her career at Western Kentucky. But when Carly was a senior at McNeese, Cassidy was a freshman at Louisiana, and they got to play against each other. This ball lifted down the right field line. Sesania runs in and makes the catch. A look at the SEC standings. Arkansas in their second to last series this weekend, and right now 2 ahead of Florida in the loss column.
And Missouri would love to get a big win up against the SEC leader in Arkansas right now. Florida lost one to South Carolina yesterday. And this SEC conference is just so potent. I keep hearing, you know, it feels like we're playing a super regional every weekend. You get that feel today too, with the crowd, the way that these two teams have played. Emma Nichols in the circle, which she's only faced one batter, which seems about 20 minutes ago.
Came in and got a strikeout. Part of the order to bat for Arkansas here in the bottom of the 6th. Hannah McEwen, first pitch strike.
Reminder that she's a very different look than Jordan Weber was. Weber was up in the zone, loved the rise ball. Emma Nichols down with the drop ball. Throws it to both sides of the plate.
Down at the feet of McEwen. Missouri, they now control their own destiny to try to find their way into at least a share of the regular season title. If they sweep this series, they get Florida next and Tennessee to close out. But they've already got one less loss than Alabama. And having the luxury of playing Florida and Arkansas, they hold their fate in their own hands. So do the Razorbacks, though.
Arkansas offensively just struggling. 2 hits, both Danielle Gibson. Overall, the batting average today, 125. Mizzou has put up 9 hits to Arkansas's 2.
McEwen just foul. Wrote down the line, and as it dipped, just crossed the line.
And you can kind of feel the sense of urgency in the stadium right now, just with 6 outs to work with for Arkansas in the bottom of the 6th inning. They really need some offensive production if they want to cut the lead to 1 or tie this ball game up.
They appeal to third, and they say nope, did not go. Full count now to Hannah McEwen.
McEwen is great in these types of situations. Doesn't get too emotional. But she's going against Nichols with that drop ball low in the zone.
It's upstairs. Hannah McEwen on board, her 2nd walk of the day.
Well, and as Missouri has already seen Arkansas pitchers 4 times through their 4 spot in the lineup, Danielle Gibson, this will only be the 3rd time around that she has faced. Obviously Jordan Weber in the first few innings, and then Emma Nichols coming in relief.
First pitch to Gibson. Nichols in the circle. She was a terrific hitter as well at the high school level. In the shortened season last year, her freshman year, Nichols 3.39 ERA in 11 appearances. Really seems to have found her calling, though, as a relief pitcher. This is her 21st relief appearance of the season, 26th appearance overall. Strike to Gibson. One, two. Right back at her. Hit her in the hands, it looked like. And still with the deflection, they're able to get the out. Good follow by Kendall Bailey, the second baseman. And both relief pitchers now in this game.
And this would have definitely gone out into the outfield had it not hit Nichols. And you're right, it hit her in that right arm, but that's a great heads-up play by Kendall Bailey to continue on and get Danielle Gibson over at first base. But Hannah McEwen advances over to second with just 1 out. Her teammate's going to check on her, but seems to be okay. As a lefty, that ball hitting her glove arm. They'll probably give her a few pitches to throw to make sure she's all right.
Oh, and very crucial here. You know, Missouri's watching close to see if she's got her best stuff, because you can't make a mistake to Lenny Malkin, who's waiting to bat and represents the tying run.
Nichols just the 17 pitches. She came in against Braxton Burnside back in the bottom of the 5th inning after Hannah Gamble had walked, and then gets the big strikeout of Burnside, gets her to chase on a drop ball outside. Walk to Hannah McEwen to lead off this inning, and then that fielder's choice, Kendall Bailey getting the out with Emma Robbie.
Malkin steps in 0 for 2 today. Takes ball 1.
Malkin doesn't chase low in the zone very often, so Emma Nichols is going to have to come up with a little bit more competitive of a pitch up in the zone, but that also makes it a little bit more dangerous with the power that Malkin has. And they're really trying to stay kind of on that chalk line of the plate, left-handed batter's box against these power hitters in the middle of the order.
Malkin, second on the team with the 15 homers. And she was somebody that, as soon as she got here, they knew it was just a question of where do we put her in the lineup at. But they knew her abilities and what she was capable of. Takes the walk. 2 aboard with 1 out. And it brings up Kayla Green. Coach Courtney Deifel will pinch run for Malkin. Callie Kildow, freshman, will run at first base.
Coach Anderson out in the circle right now talking to her defense, just making sure everybody knows where to go. 1 out, runners at first and second for Arkansas here. And we've seen Missouri capitalize on these moments, but they had left a few runners on, bases loaded twice. Mizzou has left 8 on base. Arkansas hasn't had many base runners with just the 2 hits, has left 2 on.
Well, Kayla Green will step in. Represents the go-ahead run, and I call that out because of the power that she's shown this year. 10 homers. Slow roller to short. They flip to second. That's all they'll get. Fielder's choice. 6-4 for out number 2. Arkansas will re-enter Ali Monzo. As Larissa Cesania had come in to play right field for Monzo, back to start the 5th inning.
Well, and this is a pretty typical move. They've been doing this over about the last month or so with the Monzo-Cesania switch. If Ali Monzo gets out, at the end of an inning, they'll put Cesania out in right field because she's one of their best outfielders. So it's a defensive change. And then in this situation, bringing Monzo back up because of her barrel control and what she's been able to do throughout SEC games and in big moments.
Arkansas will insert a pinch runner for Green at first base. Marlene Friedman. Monzo takes the first pitch. Not the home run threat, of course, like a lot of other hitters in this lineup, but Monzo has had some really big moments, game-changing moments this year. That Game 3 series here at home against Ole Miss was a sacrifice, a squeeze play situation. Laid down the bunt, driving a run, and was able to reach first anyway. And it wasn't a firework home run, but one of the most exciting moments of SEC play thus far for Arkansas.
Both teams understanding how big this moment is here. Arkansas wants to cut the deficit in half, and Mizzou wants to keep their 2-run lead.
One-two pitch. Strikeout for Nichols. She's gotten strikeouts to end each of the last 2 innings with runners on base. And we go to the 7th. Missouri leads 5-3. Missouri leading Arkansas 5-3. And elsewhere, Alabama stepping outside of conference play, but still a very tough matchup, leading Louisiana by a run in the 5th. And Mississippi State out in front of Texas A&M right now in the 4th.
Mississippi State still looking for their first win in conference play, which I don't think their record reflects how good that team can be. They just haven't been able to fire on all cylinders in a game, it seems, yet this season.
Some more games coming up later tonight. LSU and Kentucky got postponed. Kim Wirt, the leadoff hitter for Missouri here in the 7th. Tigers would like to add some insurance on. She walked last time to the plate. And this ball is peppered to the gap in left center. One hops to the wall. Wirt gunning for 2, and she slides in a leadoff double for Kim Wirt here to start the 7th.
Missouri just came into this game feeling so good offensively in the box after that Mississippi State series. Felt like they found their groove. And here is their groove with Kim Wirt. This is the 2nd time that she's been on base. A great at-bat back in the 5th inning. 12-pitch walk. How many balls she got to see, and then now this one against Jenna Bloom.
Kessinger with a good opposite field swing that'll die off down the line. McEwen's got it and says, "Stay put at second, please, so that I don't have to do anything dangerous."
Well, in the lower half of the lineup for the Tigers, they've done some damage. Marabi had that walk back in the 6th. She ended up scoring on the Alex Honnold RBI. Kendall Bailey with that home run.
Look at just one more feather in the cap of Missouri. 75 doubles this season.
2nd in the nation in Division I.
This ball is hit well to right and off the bottom of the wall. Wirt will come in to score. Emma Robbie following up with another 2-base hit. That's her 11th of the year.
Just another really good piece of hitting early in the count, looking for good pitches. That one is way too far over the white of the plate and misplayed over there. Callie Kildow can't get that ball coming off the wall and easily gets to second, does Emma Robbie.
Going after the first pitch, Kendall Bailey fouled back.
These hitters are, when they're fouling the balls off, just missing. Those swings are tailor-made for something about belt high or a little bit higher in the zone with the rise ball. There's not many Tiger hitters that enjoy the drop ball and going after it. And I think there's a reason that we haven't seen Autumn Storms today, as they're really just trying to save her probably for 2nd game on Sunday tomorrow.
They get the Monday game that'll close it out on Monday evening. This series expected to be a little bit dramatic in more ways than one. Arkansas jumped out to the 3-0 lead. Missouri tied it in the third, went ahead with a single run in the fourth. And have added on single runs in the sixth and here in the seventh so far. Arkansas trying to make sure that it's not anymore. Strike to Bailey, full count.
Missouri has been really good in the first game of SEC series. Run ruled LSU on a Friday night. They've stuck with their offensive plan against these Arkansas pitchers, and it's shown. God, Kendall Bailey is just missing that ball under. Reminder, she had that big home run back in the fourth. That actually was the lead, 4-3, and then they've since brought in 2 more runs.
Got her to go. Green applies the tag.
Big strikeout low in the zone for Jenna Bloom. After Kendall Bailey was on those rise balls, goes for the drop ball down in the zone, a little bit of an off speed, and gets the swing and the miss.
Second strikeout of this outing for Jenna Bloom. Honnold, first pitch, hit towards left center. On the run, Torres makes the catch in the gap, and the side retired. A couple of doubles, though, in the seventh, adds on a run for Missouri. Arkansas will come to the plate, down by 3. Six to 3, Missouri leading Arkansas as we move into the bottom of the 7th inning. And you look at the hit differential, 11 hits for Missouri today, and 6 of those extra base.
And Arkansas is going to bring in Ryland Hedgecock as a pinch hitter for Keely Huffine. And then Ryan Jackson is in the on-deck circle to pinch hit for Sam Torres. So they're in the 8, 9, and then 1 spots in the lineup. And they've got a tall task against Emma Nichols in the circle. They need 3 to at least tie this with the Rally Caps.
So Ryland Hedgecock steps in. Remember Coach Teifel telling me last year, said one thing about her, she's locked in and ready as soon as she is called. And she was talking about her role when she was called on to be a pinch hitter. It's not an easy thing to do, though, is it?
Not at all. Pinch hitting is hands down one of the hardest things to do in sports. You are literally waiting around for 2 hours for one opportunity. You have to be a pretty mentally strong person to come in from that pinch hitting role.
Rally gloves are on for Malkin. Roller to third. Wirt has got it. 1 down here in the bottom of the 7th. And now Ryan Jackson for Sam Torres. Jackson trying to get a little bit of intel on this pitcher, Emma Nichols, from Ryland Hedgecock. Well, in a situation when you need base runners, Ryan Jackson is a good player to do it, knows how to get on base. The transfer to Arkansas from Bethune-Cookman. And now in her 3rd year as a Razorback. Sixth among active D1 players in hit by pitch. 60 times in her career she's been hit. Just got a piece of it to stay alive. Jackson is a top 10 finalist for the NFCA National Freshman of the Year back in 2017. Nichols 0-2. This is lifted up into left, running under it. Shomo makes the catch, and there's 2 down. And Arkansas gets back to the top of their lineup. They knew they'd get there. They were just hoping to do so with some base runners, but there's no room for error now.
And Hannah Gamble is the only Arkansas hitter that has not faced Emma Nichols yet. That was the last batter that Jordan Weber faced after a 4-pitch walk. Gamble was extremely aggressive in her first 2 at-bats and then patient in her third.
She missed 15 games from March to early April. Returned on April 6th here at home against Missouri State and homered in her first at-bat back. So much for needing to knock any rust off.
And it's important for Hannah Gamble to understand who's behind her. All she needs to worry about right now is passing the bat, getting on some way. It's not about cutting any deficit with one swing of the bat. It's about getting Braxton Burnside up and then Braxton Burnside getting Hannah McEwen up. Really good patient at bat from the freshman right here. And I can imagine she has the box that pitch in the middle of the plate and don't swing at anything else from Courtney Deifel over at third base.
It's a walk to Gamble with 2 outs, and it brings Burnside to the plate.
Now, there have been a lot of teams that have intentionally walked Braxton Burnside, but Emma Nichols, the last time we were in this exact same situation with 2 outs and a runner on first, struck her out. And even if Braxton Burnside does get the long ball here, there's still a 1-run deficit for Arkansas. So a little wiggle room here for the Tigers.
Low for ball 1. Burnside extending her reached base streak to 37 games with her walk in the first inning and then walked again in the third. Before Nichols struck her out to begin her relief appearance.
Hattie Moore going out to have the conversation with Emma Nichols. Has missed 5 balls in a row, now going to Braxton Burnside with a 1-0 count.
Wonder if the last thing that was said was, and whatever you do, don't throw a changeup. Coach Deifel talked about Braxton Burnside and that home run from Wednesday night, but being one of the best changeup hitters she's ever seen.
And you can see how Hattie Moore is setting up behind the plate. She's already just on the outside part of the plate. They're not going to come into Braxton Burnside at all. But what they're getting Burnside to do is chase down and away with that drop ball.
Soft liner, but snagged at third by Kim Wirt. And Missouri comes to Fayetteville and takes game 1 from the 6th-ranked Razorbacks. They fell behind early 3-0, but it was like it never fazed them.
Arkansas just did not have energy. They didn't have great at-bats. Other than Danielle Gibson, limited offense all the way 1 through 9 throughout the lineup. Mizzou, on the other hand, hit all the way through the lineup. Cassidy Shomo, 3 for 4. Kendall Bailey, 2 for 3 with a home run. Ended up being the game winner. And Weber and Nichols combined for the win against Arkansas. Just 2 hits on the afternoon.
Game 1 of the series taken by Missouri. 2 left in this big-time series as the season winds down. Missouri, final score, 6-3 winner over Arkansas. For our entire crew and